Terrificon 2024. Was it a hit or was it a dud? So what's shaking YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles. Like always, welcome back to the show. I appreciate you guys out there for watching some of my videos. Today we're going to be covering Terrificon 2024. Now to give you a little bit of backstory, last year I went to Terrificon for the very first time and I absolutely had a blast, okay? This year was a good time, don't get me wrong, but there was something a little bit missing and I'm going to get into that today a little bit, but I will be touching on this in a future video as well. But before we get started in the video, like always, I remind you guys, if you're not current a sub of this channel, you're definitely missing out. We're almost at 8,000 subs, and of course, you guys know I'm doing a giveaway. Once we get there, we'll do another one at 9,000, and then something extraordinary once we get to 10,000 subs. With that said, smash the like button for me because it does help the channel out. With all that out of the way, so yes, Terrificon 2024 is underway right now as I'm making this video. I could personally only attend the Friday. I took off of work, took about a 2.5 hour drive up to Terrificon, Mohegan Sun, stayed overnight with my wife, and of course, I went to the show from 1 to 6 p.m. With that said, I want to show you guys a little bit of the show floor. I did not take a lot of video this time, only for the fact that I was really hunting for books that we've seen on the Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown that I wanted to show you guys could be had for dirt cheap prices if you do your due diligence. That's what I always say to you guys. Outside of that, I met some other members of our community who I've been dying to meet over the years that we've known each other via YouTube, via Instagram. It was so nice catching up with everyone, finally getting to meet a bunch of guys from the community. Stick around for the end of this video because not only are you going to see some photos of me with other members of the community, but I want to show you my pickups. But most importantly, I want to talk about something else relating to cons, relating to shows, and most importantly, relating to comics. I do think it's important that I touch on it in this video, but also in a future video going more in depth. With that said, here's the show floor. All right, guys, we have arrived at Terrificon. Some really cool statues and stuff. Some really good shirts and whatever else they have for sale. But this is my second year here at Terrificon. First year was a blast. You never know who we're going to run into. That's the one good thing about this show that I absolutely love. There's a lot of space, a lot of walking room. I don't feel congested at any time, so it's like really comfortable. Unlike other cons, bigger cons like New York Comic Con, stuff like that, where you're just freaking crowded.
Like the hat, Mike.
Thank you, brother.
Great shirt.
Thank you. I figured I'd come over here. I saw the good Masters Universe stuff. Oh wow, look at all this shit. You have any vintage?
I don't have any vintage now.
Look at all the classics, jeez. So as you guys know, I am a huge Masters Universe fan and I have all of the Origins outside of a few here and there. But they have some exclusives I haven't seen before. Some sets. Look at all the McFarlane DC. Some retro Spider-Man, which I also collect. My favorite thing about Terrificon are the number of artists, actors, TV stars that actually show up to devote their time to the fans that appreciate their work. I can't tell you how many big names were here this year. Jim Lee, Keanu Reeves, Chris Claremont, Al Milgrom, Jim Starlin, Greg Capullo, Scott Snyder, Jason Aaron, Charlie Cox, Martin Cove, the Simonsons were there, and of course so many others that I'm not going to name. That is the absolute best part of Terrificon. If you love getting signatures on your books, remarks, sketches, this is the place for you. There's a Matt Nelson lookalike. Like I said earlier in this video, I spent a lot of time at the show today looking for books that I thought were undervalued or underpriced, whether it be through the wall books, through the short boxes, long boxes, whatever I could find. But I made it a point to get and go through and try to find some of the books that appeared on these last couple of weeks' Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown to show you that some of these books could be had for cheap prices. One of the books I was definitely looking for was a copy of Avengers number 25, this classic Doctor Doom cover, and the first time the Avengers take on Doctor Doom. You guys know recently it was on the Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown, and then we had a sale of CGC 5.5 for $230. We also had a 9.0 sale of a crazy $927, while a couple of dealers had this book in short boxes and a couple had it on their wall. One had a graded 6.5 for around 300 and change, which is really way too much for this book. But I told you in that video that you could have this book for cheap, and I found a low grade copy for literally only $25. There were a couple other wall books. Somebody had another copy that was definitely higher grade for only $75, which I still thought was a little bit too high, or I might have gone ahead and picked it up. But here we have a $25 beater. But hey, if you want to own the book, to me, I think it's a solid investment, considering you probably could have made an offer and had it for only $20. Then, of course, we had this book, Infamous Iron Man number 1. This book has been all over the place as of late, selling on eBay for high prices. This one also on the Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown a couple of weeks ago. We had a CGC 9.4 that actually sold for $200. But if you do due diligence and start digging through the short boxes, you could see I found this book for sale in a short box for $15. That to me was the steal of the show. And then, of course, another one that was just on the Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown, Invincible Iron Man number 150, this classic black cover by John Romita Jr., one of my favorite out there between Iron Man and Doctor Doom. Again, on the Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown, there was a CGC 8.0 sale for $145, but there was also a 9.8 for $1,700, which to me is out of control. Guess what I picked this book up for? Only $25, and it seems to be around a 7.0, 7.5, possibly even an 8.0. So someone who spent $145 on an 8.0 graded copy, if you did your homework and searched around a little bit, you could have had this bad boy for only $25. A couple of other things that I wanted to show you guys that I did see at the show was this cover for Superman 1. You guys know I have a coverless copy, or at least a copy with a faux cover, a CGC NG in my collection. Here was a cover only, just the front cover, that they were asking $30,000 for. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely a little bit tempted to see if I can get this guy to budge to try to get a cover for my Superman 1. Either way, I didn't pull the trigger. Something cool also that I did actually pick up was this arc reactor. Of course, the infamous proof that Tony Stark has a heart from Pepper Potts that she gives him in the first Iron Man movie. I had to pick this thing up. It lights up, it pulsates. I only paid $100 for this thing. A really cool display piece for my office. Haha, one thing you guys may not know about me is I am a staunch Golden Girls fan. One of my favorite shows growing up as a kid. I have really fond memories of this thing. Here we have some artwork featuring the 4 Golden Girls. Of course, Appetite for Cheesecake featuring all 4 of them. I thought this was something that was pretty cool that I wanted to share with you guys, which you may not know about me. And of course, the best part of this show was meeting fellow YouTubers that I have never met before, that I've either talked to via Instagram, via YouTube, throughout the community. From left to right, of course, Mike from Lunch Money Comics, myself, Rohan, and JP from the Absolute Game of Nerds. And of course, there is my good buddy, Ricky from All Sorts of Words. He had a magical Terrificon. So that's it for Terrificon 2024. I do want to show you guys what I picked up from the show, and it's not much, and I do want to touch on something else, so don't go anywhere just yet. The first thing I was able to pick up was this great exclusive variant from the Comic-Con podcast and V. Ken Marion. I always like to support great artists and other people who do YouTube or podcasts in our community, because I always think it's a good thing to do. But I do like his artwork as well. He actually ended up signing it for free as well, which I thought was really cool. You guys know I'm a big Motu fan, and when I saw this, I said, you know what? I had to pick this up. Of course, this is a sorceress with her stuff showing. I did cover it because this is a family-friendly YouTube channel, so I thought this is a really cool thing that I've never seen before, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up. You guys saw me pick up in the video Infamous Iron Man #1. Now, this is a book I normally would not buy, but I wanted to show you guys, if you do your due diligence, people are spending $100, $120 on this book on eBay. I see people listing it on Instagram for crazy amount of money, $15 in a long box that I was digging through. So this is a no-brainer. If somebody wants it, contact me. I'll gladly sell it to you for a good price. But also, I told you in the show as well, this is a nice Iron Man #150 classic cover by John Romita Jr. Again, $25, just goes to show you. And when I actually pulled it out of the long box, that guy goes to me, oh man, you just got a great deal on this one. Because a lot of the time, some guys are not going to pull this stuff out of the bins. They don't know what's hot. They don't know what people are looking for. Again, some of these books I may keep in my collection for the long term. Some I may go ahead and sell. But regardless, I'm always about deals, finding deals on books that are on Hot 10 that I think are ridiculously overpriced. A lot of the times on these shows, I'm telling you not to buy because the prices are just ridiculous. That Avengers #25, I found a copy for $25, a little bit too low grade for me, but if I could have paid around $40 or $50 for a little bit better copy, I would have snatched it up, and I'm guaranteeing you guys can find these books out in the wild. Now, I know some of you may not have a con near you, you may not have an LCS near you, so maybe you're delegated to eBay, and that's going to be a lot harder. Stick to Instagram. You may find one for a cheap deal, a live show, stuff like that. But I wanted to show you guys it is definitely possible. So the one other thing I wanted to talk to you about was this, and it's a little concerning to me, but Terrificon this year, and I was only there one day, it was a little bit more empty than it was last year, and I know it was early, first day, maybe more packed Saturday, which I was not there for Saturday or Sunday, but the show was different this year. I found I was getting a lot more deals last year, but I also think it coincides with last year I was looking for a lot more books. I was trying to complete my ASM run, stuff like that, still looking for minor keys, but I'm no longer out there looking for books actively. You guys know I've sold off a big part of my collection. I'm only keeping books that I want to keep for the long term. And right now, where the economy is, where I think we're headed, I do think it's in people's best interest to kind of compress a little bit, sell some books that they might not need, because that's what I'm seeing in the market. I see a lot of people out there just getting out of collecting altogether. Me, I'm not going to do that because I love my books. I may move a few books here and there. I may try to see if I can get a certain dollar amount for a certain book, that I may try to get a better copy or a different book that I'm searching for, but I'm a little concerned. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think books will continue to fall in price as more people dump and dump and dump. But the bigger issue for me is, if you're going to a con not looking for anything, it becomes a lot harder. I didn't really take a lot of video when I was there because I wasn't really looking for much. I really wasn't really interested in looking at wall books because I knew that I wasn't really looking to buy anything. So I want to know out there, is anyone else having the feelings that I'm going through right now? I'm not buying a lot of books. Will that deter you from going to cons in the future? I'm going to go to New York Comic Con this year just because I go every year and I like to enjoy some of the other stuff they have to offer. But, you know, we'll see going forward if I continue to go to cons, or maybe I cut back on a few that I go to every year. But with that said, I want to hear from everyone out there in the community. Have you stopped buying books? Have you really taken it back and maybe only buy a couple of books here and there? Because for the most part, I've really stopped unless I could find something for a really good deal like I showed you guys today. So with that said, I'd like to have a couple of other YouTubers on there, talk about this, have a discussion, see if they're going through the same thing that I am. Let me know in the comments though what you think. Like always, this is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.